Duduzane Zuma has been found not guilty of culpable homicide and reckless and negligent driving by the Randburg Magistrates Court, north of Johannesburg. This relates to a 2014 incident in which Zuma lost control of his Porsche 911 Turbo and crashed into a minibus taxi on the M1 highway in Johannesburg, resulting in the death of Phumzile Dube, who was one of the passengers in the taxi at the time.
The accused was driving a roadworthy car, and the issue in regard to the condition of it is neither here nor there, as was belatedly argued by the prosecution. It has been established independently that the tires were within the legal limit of 5 centimeters. He was driving at approximately 90 to 100 kilometers. The other road users made the same determination that that same speed was reasonable in the given circumstances. There is no evidence to suggest that the accused firstly should have foreseen the presence of a puddle. The other two drivers didn't see the puddle of water, but we know that when the passengers alighted the minibus after the collision, the water was ankle high and covered their shoes. And secondly, there is no evidence to indicate what step he should have taken to guard against aquaplaning. And in particular, no evidence is available to the court to find that the speed to which it might have been set a reasonable driver would have had to reduce his speed in order to avoid what eventually happened. It is therefore found that the state failed to prove the case against the accused beyond reasonable. The version of the accused is found to be reasonably possible true. The accused is found not guilty both in the main and the alternative count.
We continue to get reaction on this judgment. Earlier, SABC reporter Criselda Lewis managed to get some reaction from former President Jacob Zuma.
Uzoxhasonyana nje sonke lesikhathi.
Yebo iqiniso. Hayi ngizizwa ngijabulile ukuthi uphumile icala liphelile firstly, and that akazange abe irresponsible my driving motor. Why irresponsible? Isimo esamenza ukuthi kuze kube khona ingozi. Ngicabanga ukuthi inkantolo iyibuke kahle lento. Isinqumo senkantolo siyathokozisa.
Baba Nafuti, on Monday, it's another big day for you, headed to the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture. Are you ready for that to give your side of the story?
Eqinisweni ngicelwe iCommission ukuthi ke ngizobeka engase ngikubeke. Sokuzwakala khona ukuhamba kanjani iyaya khona.
Thank you very much. The former President Jacob Zuma there saying he's very pleased with the outcome of the Duduzane. Maybe I can get a word from you. It's been 5 years. Are you relieved?
Have a good weekend, ma'am.
All right. Well, just a good weekend there from Duduzane Zuma after being found not guilty on culpable homicide and negligent driving charges.
Well, Public Enterprises Minister Gordhan has launched a second review application against findings by Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane.
The application seeks to review and possibly set aside Mkhwebane's findings on his role in the establishment of the so-called rogue unit in the South African Revenue Service. Now, the first one was regarding her report, which found that he unlawfully approved former SARS executive Ivan Pilley's early retirement payout at the expense of taxpayers. SABC News spoke to political analyst Aubrey Mashikte about his views on this matter.
Quite possible that when we look at the Pravin Gordhan matter, not only, as I said, the media or even lawyers and us commentators are getting sucked into this, but we also find that other interests outside the ANC, such as business, are getting sucked into this, such as the markets are getting sucked into this. And that is why, for instance, you see the ANC fighting over what decision was made over the Reserve Bank, fighting even over what the powers of the public protectors are. So there's a perception here to portray or project the public protector as an entity that is acting politically, that has entered the ANC's factional battles. At the same time, around Pravin Gordhan, you have two problems. Those who like him seem to be taking the view that he is infallible, whereas those who do not like him take the view that he is the devil incarnate. Those who like him tell us that he cannot be guilty of corruption or anything like that because he is very competent. And I agree, he is a very competent man. But the reality is that incompetent people lie and steal, competent people lie and steal, and the devil is competent. Now, I'm not suggesting Pravin Gordhan is the devil, but what I'm suggesting is that this narrow conception of state capture, with the Orwellian manipulation that goes with it, has produced a narrative in which Pravin Gordhan is either infallible or is the devil.
Going back to our breaking story of the morning, lobby group AfriForum says they are satisfied that Duduzane Zuma has had his day in court. In a statement, AfriForum says the aim was to make sure that Duduzane started his case in a court for judgment. For more on this, we are joined by Elias Maangwale, AfriForum's Private Prosecutions Unit Investigator. A very good morning to you. We just quoted a bit on your reaction, but your overall reaction to this judgment?
Yes, morning, ma'am, and morning to the listeners. We, as AfriForum, we pushed this case until to the end. I will say we are standing with the court's judgment, and we respect the court judgment.
What would you say to people who feel that it was a wild goose chase?
No, it was not. It was not. You must remember, if the magistrate was going through all the witness statements, he said some others refused to answer an question from the defense lawyer. So those things they are also getting on the merit of the case. But the fact, I want to say, we just want to respect the court decision, the not guilty part, but nothing you can do. There was a case to be answered.
On what basis are you respecting the outcome? Is it on the basis of the testimony that has been put forward, or are you still feeling that there could be something to answer?
Well, there was something to answer. As you remember, the last witness was the old woman, where she ended up saying she's not going to answer any question anymore. And we respect the court's decision, and we stand by that. Nothing I can add, and really I don't want to add.
So tell me about your private prosecutions unit. What kind of conversations go on in the background of when you decide which cases you're going to pursue?
Well, we have a lot of cases, but for now I can't mention them. For now, I can even say I wish this case was prosecuted by the private prosecution, because we will need all the evidence, all the witnesses. But well, it happened. That is why the NPA changed their decision. They said they want to prosecute for themselves after they were declined to prosecute.
Is it a blow for you that this chase has been unsuccessful?
Well, yes. For us, it is a blow, but we will stand by the court decision. We respect it.
You don't think it does anything to perhaps dent the AfriForum's reputation in terms of following cases that will not necessarily be victorious in the end?
No, remember, everyone must be prosecuted like that. There is no difference between Elias Maangwale or Duduzane Zuma. If there is a case to answer, that someone must be answered. Well, I'm not saying Duduzane Zuma was guilty. I'm saying there was a case to answer.
So, as you say there was a case to answer, take us back to the beginning, why you felt this was a worthwhile case to pursue. And with hindsight, with everything that has gone on, the cost that has gone into this process, was it worth your while?
Yes, this case is striking from 2014, as you remember, February. And the NPA, it was nullified by the NPA itself, nully prosecute. And after the inquest, the senior magistrate said somebody must be held responsible. We then took the matter further and obtained further statements whereby we requested certificate to prosecute. And later, NPA itself turned his decision not to prosecute and send a letter to us. Then, well, we are going to prosecute ourselves. That is why I'm saying I wish this case was being prosecuted by the private prosecution, AfriForum private prosecution.
Thank you so much for talking to us this morning. As you're saying, you're not challenging the judgment today.
No.
All right, that's a word from the AfriForum about their reactions to the Duduzane Zuma court case outcome.